Hey guys, it's Fee, and today I wanted to talk about Capcom possibly making a remake for the Resident Evil franchise. Now, I've been a long fan of Resident Evil and survival horror games and horror games in general, so I wanted to give my thoughts on what will make Resident Evil games better and how they can make other games as a base for later games, because I just can't play Resident Evil 4 through 6. I can't play those games. Anyway, so the games I play is Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, Director's Cut, and also a few of other games that are pretty much spin-offs of the original series. So I feel like Resident Evil took this route where they're going to like collide like action-packed first-person shooter and zombies and horror all into the same game, but they half-assed it because then these games will still be good. But I feel like they're trying to be like Call of Duty, whether it's Modern Warfare or Black Ops, whether it's Battlefield, whether it's Halo, whether it's Spec Ops, whether it's Medal of Honor. These like, it just oversaturated the video game market, and I just feel like it's so much, and then Resident Evil just like tries to slowly put these into their game since 4 and now 6, and it's not even survival horror to me anymore. So these games that they made that I feel like are first person shooters, I actually feel like there should be spin-offs of the original series. For example, if you didn't know that Devil May Cry was actually a spin-off of Resident Evil, then now you know, because one of the developers had made it as an idea for Resident Evil, but it strayed too far away from the original formula of Resident Evil, so they didn't put that into the series. So it now is named as Devil May Cry, and it's like one of the biggest franchises that Capcom has, other than like Mega Man and Resident Evil itself. So, like, it's like putting Dante into Resident Evil and saying, well, we're going to give you a gun, we're going to give you a sword, and we're going to give you all these like powers and everything, and you're going to go kill demons, because that really relates to Resident Evil. That doesn't. I feel like these first-person shooters don't either. So what they can do to make this game better is add more horror aspects, such as jump scares. Now, I love this game for jump scares because there's just so many of them, and one of the good examples of a game with a lot of good jump scares is actually Dead Space. Like, I played Dead Space 3 demo on PSN Network, and the game's like, okay, so you're walking in the snow and this ominous music all the time, so you're not prepared for the jump scare. So, but the music still gives you these cues that are like, you should probably get your gun out, like. And you get closer and closer to this area as you're walking up the snow. It's like an abandoned airplane. And when you get to this area, you're like right in front of the alien, and it pops out of the snow, and it comes after you. This scares the hell out of you. And that's what really makes a good horror game. It's scaring the hell out of you. Because I love survival horror games, and I feel like when you add the aspects of jump scares into it, then it makes it better. Like I said earlier, I think that the music actually makes the game too. This is used in movies and in video games, because these this music, it actually, if you play it all the time, if you don't make it like happy tree frame music and then try to put in like this dun dun dun, like, that's not scary, that's just stupid. What you do is you find this horror track and you make it horror all the time. It makes you not know what's coming next, and that's also what makes a good horror game. So when it pops out at you, you can make it like this really bam in your face music, and you won't be prepared for that because you are already getting the horror music, so it will just be scary. Another aspect of Resident Evil that I actually liked from the older games was that the save button. So if you didn't know, you have to be at a typewriter to save in this game, and there's not a lot of typewriters and there's not a lot of ink. So what you do is you don't save in the middle of a fight, you don't save in the middle of a zombie popping up at you, and this actually makes it scarier because there's no way you're getting out of this. It actually gives you this real life aspect. Like, if you are in this mansion and you are fighting these zombies, you're not going to go push save and come back later with your sandwich and your drink. You're not going to do that because you can't, because that's also what makes it even more scary. It's like, it's putting you into the moment of the game. And also, there is the aspect that there is limited weapons and there's limited ammo, so it's not like okay, so you get into this scenario where you have to shoot a zombie, and there's like this giant zombie that can't be killed in like 3 ammos. You actually have to think about how much ammo you're using, and you don't usually think about this in the moment. You're like, oh my god, let me just kill it, and then like you don't have ammo for the next zombie, and then that's what really gets you. Like, you actually have to think about this in the moment. You have to be in the game. You have to be in the moment. Like, you actually have to use critical thinking in these moments when you're scared. And this is another thing that Resident Evil really does well. Like, so in like the later games where it's more action-packed, where you get so much health and you get so much bullets and you get so many resources of weapons, then it's not even scary because you're just like, I need to kill it. Well, I have everything. I have grenades, I have swords, I have guns, I have bullets. I mean, I might be over-exaggerating, but there's so much that you have that you didn't have back then that make these games scary. So I feel like if you add all these games and all these aspects into this next game, I feel like the developers should actually sit down for a while, watch a whole bunch of horror movies, good horror movies, even the silly horror movies that aren't really that scary. Just think of the aspects that they tried to use in this and tried to put into the game. I also feel like they should play horror games from their competitors, like when Fatal Frame was a thing, like, because Fatal Frame was scary. Fatal Frame was scary as hell, and I just feel like if they actually listen to their fans, watch these movies, play these games, put this all into one game. I'm not saying that like all the games have to be the same. I don't want them all to be the same. I want them to have different aspects to them, but I want them to follow the original formula. I don't want it to be so different, I guess. I feel like that's what a lot of old school gamers say, like they don't like change, but I like change, but I don't like bad change. That's the thing. So I feel like if they actually took the time to make these games and then just rush them out to like combat with like these other first person shooters, then they would actually have a good game. So yeah, I hope you guys liked that video. I pretty much just talked how I usually would. I didn't really cut it up as much as I would have because it was just from like straight from my head, because that's really how I feel about the Resident Evil franchise, and that's how I feel Capcom should really take things. So tell me your opinions down below, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you tomorrow. Mwah. Love you much. Bye bye.